Welcome to the Underground. This is UGR News, and I am your boy, Cecil Khalid Mark. And today, I call shenanigans on underrepresentation. They seem to try to tell us that there's underrepresentation for certain groups in today's society. And I agree, there is underrepresentation for certain groups. There's underrepresentation for strong black male role models who are heads of households. There used to be people like Carl Winslow and Heathcliff Huxtable, among others, men who took care of their families and did the right thing the right way. And these shows were good. They were funny, they were poignant, and they were of a time. Today, they're talking about transgender people being underrepresented. I must disagree. I think that they're being a little bit overrepresented, especially when you think about the percentage of them as opposed to the percentage of the population. Now, I'm not saying that transgender people shouldn't be shown. I'm not saying gay people shouldn't be shown. But I'm saying to the degree to which they're showing them, especially when it comes to black men. A lot of times when they talk about transgender issues, they're always talking about transgender women of color. Those are black men who are trying to be women. What happened to the black men who are raising men? That's the issue that we're having today. The reason why people like Lil Nas X feel comfortable putting out a Satan shoe, 666 copies with a drop of human blood in them, is because he feels that it's open now. Now, people want to tell me that there should be a separation between church and state. Well, there should be a separation between Satan and state too, if that's the way you feel about it. And I think people misunderstand what that separation of church and state actually means. They think that there should be no images of churches or any religious symbols at all. And what it actually means is that the state cannot enforce a religion. That's what it means. So if we were doing this correctly, there would be representation of Christianity, Islam, Judaism, Buddhism, and every other religion that there was. Because what happens when you find yourself in these religions is that you find a place, you find your values, you find what it is that makes you who you are. And we all have these values that we need to bring out to the world, and our values are being underrepresented, and our children are falling by the wayside because of this, because of the underrepresentation of nuclear families, something they want to destroy. You want to tell me that a nuclear family is white supremacist? No. Far before the Great New Deal, black people were on par with white people. Somewhere in the neighborhood of 85% of black children had two parents. In the situation with a nuclear family, it doesn't necessarily always mean that there has to be a father. It just means that the child has to have a strong male role model. I happen to grow up without my father being directly in my life a lot, but I had a lot of football coaches and people who supported and wanted to help me. I had male role models that I could look at on television and say, I would love to grow up and have a family like the Cosbys. I would love to grow up and have a father who loves me like Fred Sanford. Even though he wasn't the greatest guy or the most articulate, he was a father, and at the end of the day, he was looking out for what he felt was best for his son and his family and the empire that he was building. And we need to represent these things more. We need more representation of successful black people, because people are out here talking about what the American ideal is or what the American way is. And truth be told, that comes from the black experience. We influence what happens in America. We influence music. We influence culture. We influence art. And right now, we are influencing our generations to do things that are not going to be healthy or good at all for us in the long run. So we need to be represented by strong black men who have values and are willing to stand up for what they believe in. Just because I stand up for what I believe in does not mean that I don't like you or I disagree with you because I have a different point of view. I have a different view of how things should be. Just because I believe marriage should be between a man and a woman does not mean I do not think that gay people should have the same rights if they're a couple as a married couple do. Because my whole thing is the government shouldn't be involved in marriage to begin with. So there needs to be more representation of people who want to do the right thing and people who are trying to do the right thing. When you're out here and you're trying to ascribe sexuality to children under the age of 9, 8, 7 years old, that is disgusting. That is disgusting. I'm sorry, it's the way I feel, and I've always felt that way. As a young man, I don't even remember noticing women until I started playing football when I was about 11 and 12 years old. The cheerleaders were out there and they looked good and they excited me. But up until that point, I had no idea. I was not thinking about it. Because what I was thinking about is growing up and trying to take care of my family. Even as a young boy, I wanted to grow up and take care of my mother. That's why a lot of these athletes, performers, and entertainers, those who have solid family foundations, the first thing they do when they get that big check is they go out and they buy a house for mama and papa. And if papa's not there, they buy a home for mama. And if mama's not there, they buy a home for papa. And if neither one of them are there, they buy a home for whomever it was who raised them. So today, we need to stop this talk of underrepresentation until we have actual representation of strong black male role models. There are a lot of strong female role models, a lot of strong black female role models, but I think it's time we need to turn back around and get back into having positive role models for our young black men. I am Khalid Cecil Malik. You can check me out on Twitter at Cecil Khalid. If you like it, like, share, subscribe, give me a thumbs up, say something down in the comments, let me know how you feel, and I'll be here.